Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Herman, and I'm the editor of CA Magazine. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this AI and Emerging Tech webinar brought to you by ICAS and Xero. Specifically today, we'll be covering the subject of AI, APIs, and getting paid faster. How to unlock the potential of emerging tech with Xero to address the problem of late payments. Indeed, a study published just a few days ago by Xero revealed that late payments to UK small businesses surged over the last 3 months, with payments delayed by more than a week on average, according to the latest research produced by Xero. Payments to small businesses were 7.3 days late on average between April and June. I think the figures that highlight the challenging economic environment that small businesses nationwide are facing without having to chase unapproved debt. And of course, when one business gets paid late, it can have a domino effect. And today's host is Ashley Hendry, who's an education specialist at Xero and has previously been an accountant. Among other things, Ashley will explain how AI and API capabilities can enhance cash flow management. Now, after Ashley's finished her presentation and demo, you can put questions to her, which you can enter any time during the webinar in the Q&A box. And there'll also be some links that will appear during the session as well. So I guess without any further ado, I'll hand you over to Ashley, who will take care of you for the rest of this afternoon. Over to you, Ashley.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I really appreciate that introduction. It is fabulous. And also, yes, so we will be touching on AI, APIs, and how to get paid faster, and how we're unlocking the potential of emerging tech at Xero. So as Ryan said, without further ado, let's get into the content. It's really exciting stuff. I am going to turn my video off so you don't have to look at this mug for the rest of the webinar, but I will be jumping back on towards the end with answering the questions. So I hope you all enjoy. Now, we're going to kick things off today by taking a look at digitization across small businesses and how we're able to use the power of APIs in Xero and our ecosystem to share data. We'll then take a look at how we can get paid faster by using Xero's tools and features, before we take a very close look at AI technology, the exciting stuff that we're doing there, the proven benefits that this is already having within the accounting and bookkeeping industry. And then finally, before we end off the webinar today, I will also provide you with some next steps. So actionable things that you can do after this webinar to help you on your journey. Now, I will also mention that I will be sharing a very exciting link towards the end, like Ryan said. So do keep your eyes peeled on that chat box for the links there. Now, I really want to start by introducing you to the concept of the Xero ecosystem and how it enables Xero to share data with other softwares via the power of APIs. Now, some of you may already be up and running with apps, or some of you may already be a bit earlier on in your journey with us along the app ecosystem. So some of you might be wondering, what is the Xero ecosystem? Now, in its most simplest terms, it's all things that connect to Xero. So from huge global technology platforms, or maybe apps that were specifically used by accounting firms, all the way to really niche individual developers. They all have one thing in common. They build API integrations that connect to Xero. And it's that API, the application programming interface, that allows the softwares to talk to each other. Now, the word application refers to the software with a distinct function, whereas interface can be thought of as the contract that defines how those two softwares communicate with each other. When we think about what makes Xero so great, we believe that it comes down to these connections. From the early days, Xero was designed with those connections in mind. Now, plugging into things like bank feeds, government tax departments, e-commerce marketplaces, payroll solutions, and so many other examples. We know that small businesses have a diverse range of needs, and we believe that not one product or service can solve them all. And we don't want to build everything for everyone. But by enabling others to create those solutions and collaborating with them to satisfy all of those other needs alongside Xero, we believe that we can deliver more value to our customers. Now, to bring this to life, I'd like to share this visual with you, which is the way that we conceptualize the role of integrations in the context of Xero. So at the very core, you've got the ledger. This is what Xero revolutionized in the cloud. So this is that core accounting function that we've got. This is that fundamental tool that you and your clients would use from day to day. Then building on top of that, we have those first-party products that many of you use, like XPM or Xero Payroll, Xero Expenses. The next ring around that is where we work with partners to build deep integrations into our core workflows, like using Stripe for payment collection, for example. We know that partners do those things better than us, so we like to work with them. And then on that outer layer, you've got that Xero ecosystem of third-party apps that wrap quite beautifully around the set of Xero products that you use day to day. And it's quite beautiful, if you ask me. This visually makes it really easy to understand exactly what this ecosystem is like in the context of Xero. Now, by using these third-party apps via the App Store, the Xero App Store, you make it easier to run your practice, easier for your clients to run their business, but also help them save time and money along the way, which ultimately, hopefully, helps you and your clients to grow your businesses. Now, I've mentioned apps in the Xero App Store already quite a few times, and some of you may be aware that we've actually had an app marketplace for a number of years, but we've actually made a ton of improvements. So in 2021, we actually relaunched it as the Xero App Store, and in my view, it has two key benefits for our advisor community specifically. It's the place that you can go to discover, try, and actually buy third-party apps that connect to Xero. It's also the place that you can validate whether an app has a certified integration with Xero. So any app that you see on our Xero App Store has gone through a thorough review and approval process by our Xero experts. So we actually have a whole team that's dedicated to qualifying these applications and making sure that if they're listed on that Xero App Store, that it has passed our checks and it has our stamp of approval. We've made it nice and easy to find, use, and recommend apps, which is some of the feedback that we had previously from advisors, and that's what we found that they wanted to achieve when accessing the App Store. So we've tried to make that we've tried to improve that as much as possible. Now, there are different apps to help many small businesses, and one of the needs that most businesses, if not all businesses, need at one time or another is to help with customer payments. At Xero, we have never shied away from the fact that our online payment services, such as Stripe and Go Cardless, can help businesses to get paid up to twice as fast. Now, we have two key partners that work with us, Stripe and Go Cardless, and I'll take you through a couple of the benefits of using these two particular third-party apps. Now, Stripe allows customers to pay via credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. And many small businesses and their customers are familiar with these payment options already, which means it's just giving their customers more ways to pay, I should say, and hopefully it means that they're getting paid faster as well. Now, previously, it could have taken up to 7 days for a business to receive their funds if their customers paid via Stripe. 7 days from when the customer makes the payment using Stripe and then landing into the client's bank account. But those timelines have now significantly been reduced. We've worked closely with Stripe to get them down, and now they can appear within as little as 2 days, which is important when you think about the value of money and having that cash there ready to go and pay their bills. Now, flipping over to Go Cardless, we have our fabulous direct debit payment solution. So this is perfect if you sell subscription-based services or you have recurring invoices. I found that this was a really great solution when I was working in practice for ongoing work that it would happen whether it was weekly or monthly or quarterly. This just streamlined our whole process. Now, with Go Cardless, you can collect those recurring payments as soon as the invoice is due, and the payouts are then made to the providers or the supplier's business bank account automatically. So It makes that whole process so easy. Now, the great thing is that all you need to do is set that payment service up once. The customer only needs to add their payment details or agree to their direct debit authorization the once, and then you're able to use that on an ongoing basis. Now, we will be taking a look at Stripe and Go Cardless in Xero very shortly. But just before that, I just want to cover off on a couple more details for these two in particular. Now, Stripe and Go Cardless charge their fees based on transactions, which means that it's completely free to set your account up with them, and there are no monthly subscription costs. So you only pay for the service when you use it. So with that in mind, I would encourage you and your clients to set an account up with them so that it's available if and when they need to use it. Once it's connected to Xero, you can reconcile your transactions, and it will actually instantly show when invoices have been paid, which is great. It's just that automation. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to save time and see how much technology can help us to improve those processes. Now, something else that I'd like to mention is maybe thinking about using those payment services in your own practice. So if you're not using payment services in your own practice, it's a great way, if you do sign up for an account, to show your customers how efficient they can make that process. So by sending out your accounting fee, bills, and so on, by having those payment services attached, if they go through that process and they'll see how easy it is to use, it's more likely that they're going to jump on the bandwagon. Now, here at Xero, we conducted our Money Matters report in 2023, and we found that 72% of small businesses have experienced cash flow issues within the past 12 months. Now, that is a staggering number, 72%. And it is interesting, some of the figures that Ryan was mentioning earlier. Now, moving along, we also found that 41% of small business owners had to forego their own salary in the last 12 months. And that just goes to show why we need to be putting this time into getting money into the bank faster. And finally, the last stat I'd like to share with you is that 56% of small businesses have also raised their prices in the past 12 months to try and mitigate against the risk of any negative cash flow scenarios or cash flow crunches, as we call them. And so by enabling features such as those online invoice payments, it can be crucial to a business's success. So let's see it in action. Let's jump into Xero now. First, I'm going to land on my dashboard. Here we are, and I'm just going to go up to the top left-hand corner, and I'm going to go into settings. So today I'd like to show you where you can go to actually manage these payment services that I've just been talking about. Now, on the right-hand side, we actually have a dedicated feature setting here. So second down, I'm going to click into payment services. Now, you will see, once this page loads up for us, you will see that I have actually pre-connected a number of payment services, both being Stripe and Go Cardless. And I know that I mentioned that it's free to set up an account with both of these. It's also really easy, I will say, from a personal perspective. So I've gone through and I've added these in myself. It took less than 15 minutes each for both of them. I mean, make sure that you've got a good internet connection, make sure you've got all of your details that you need on hand, and it really is a very simple process. So even for your clients who may not be technologically inclined, it is quite easy for them to follow their nose and get this added onto their Xero. Now in here, I'm going to go ahead and click Manage Connected Services. You'll see that this is actually an opportunity for us to add our payment services like Go Cardless and like Stripe onto branding themes. Now, if you're able to, I'd love to see a raise of hands if anyone actually uses their branding themes. You should be able to see a raise hand function somewhere on your control panel. If not, that is okay. Yep, okay, so I've got a couple of hands being raised. Fantastic, that's good to see. So with our branding themes, you'll see you've got the type of payment service here, and then you can actually add them to specific branding themes. Now, this is really useful if maybe for particular customers, you only want them to see Go Cardless, or you only want them to see Stripe, or maybe you want to give some particular customers the option to pay by both. Now, what you can do is you can go into your Manage Themes button here, and then with your Stripe branding theme that I've previously created, you can actually go ahead and add a payment theme to a payment service to that branding theme. Now that means when I am creating an invoice for a particular customer, I can go ahead and select this payment, this branding theme. Sorry, I'm confusing myself here. So I can select a branding theme and it will automatically apply that payment service to them. Now to take that automation one step further, you can actually apply default branding themes to your customers and your contact cards. So if you know that you always want them to have the option to pay by Stripe, you can go into their contact card and do that for them as well. Now for today, I'm just going to set it up so that Stripe is connected to our Stripe branding theme, and our Go Cardless are connected as well. So this I've created this direct debit branding theme, and I'm going to go ahead and connect the direct debit payment service. Once again, for the other Go Cardless option. And then for my custom, I'd like to have it connected to both. So you'll see both Stripe and Go Cardless are connected to my custom. Once I'm happy, I can go ahead and click Save. Now moving on to here, we're going to go ahead and look at a invoice that I've already drafted up for us, a little bit of webinar magic, if you don't mind me saying. So we've got a draft invoice here that I've created earlier for Tanuki Adventures. Now in here, you'll see that I've already pre-filled in some information onto my invoice. It's got their contact card there, and you'll see the current branding theme here so far. If I zoom in just a little bit, just to help you all see. So you'll see the branding theme here is standard. Now back on that settings page, you might have noticed, the eagle-eyed among you would have noticed that I actually had no payment service attached to the standard branding theme, which when I scroll across, you'll see online payments, there's nothing here. Now, if I go ahead and I say I would like Tanuki to pay me by Stripe, I can go ahead and select my Stripe branding theme. And once I zoom out and that loads for us, just let this do its thinking. Oops, I'll give it a little refresh. There we are. Well, so it is actually meant to show up here, but isn't that just the joy of being on a webinar and things not working for you? Let's go have a look and see if I can figure out that problem. So what we want to see here is that it says Stripe. So let's go ahead, we'll go back to our settings and just see if that is something I can fix up. It does happen from time to time. I mean, obviously technology, love it. We're talking about emerging tech. Okay, give me one moment and I'll see if I can fix this issue live. Okay, so I'm going to go Manage Connected Services. We can see that Stripe should be connected to my Stripe and my custom branding theme, so that shouldn't be an issue. I do just seem to be having some technological issues, so I may have to move along, and I can show you actually a really quick workaround because there is always another solution. So let's go back to that draft invoice, open up Tanuki Adventures, and in here, it does say Stripe there, but it doesn't want to show up here, but that's okay because we can actually add it manually. That's another example I wanted to show you, so we can go Add. And once this page loads up, I can quite simply just tick the cards box. So I'd like them to be able to pay by card, credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. And once I save that, they'll be able to have that option to pay. Now, if we go ahead and approve and email, you'll see here that they'll have that beautiful green Pay Now button, which is, I believe, what makes that difference of getting paid up to twice as fast. So once this loads up for us, oh, I'm having a fantastic time with this connection today. Wonderful. Here we go. Okay, so that's loaded up for us. Now, once you're in here, you'll be able to see this is what the customer will receive into their email. So it will say their name, it's pre-filled the amount, the due date, and then they'll be able to go ahead and click review and pay. And quite simply, once they click that button, they'll be able to have the option to pop in their card details. It is kept secure, so we are really mindful of keeping, obviously, payment details secure. And they'll also have the option to do that Google Pay or Apple Pay if they're paying from their phone. Fantastic. So a couple of hiccups along the way, but that's okay. Let's keep things moving. Now, I mentioned earlier how customers are looking for more ways to pay, giving them that option for paying by their phone or paying either by credit card or debit card, rather than just only being able to do a direct deposit. Now, research has actually confirmed this, and Stripe also shared some fascinating insights with us that they'd seen in the buy now, pay later space. They actually found that businesses who offered Afterpay globally saw an increase in both revenue and net sales, which means that buy now, pay later options can and do help businesses to get more sales overall. Now, a couple of months ago now at XeroCon London, we announced that we'll soon be rolling out our brand new payment methods via Stripe, giving customers even more ways to pay. So in addition to those credit cards, debit cards, digital wallets, we're also adding new payment methods, including bank transfers and buy now, pay later options such as Klarna. This means saying goodbye to the hassle of juggling those multiple logins and passwords and getting access to all of those different payment methods with just one seamless sign up via Stripe. We've also tried to make it really easy to manage payment methods in one place, and you and your clients can choose to turn on or off those payment methods that are offered. So you have complete control. Even if you sign up, you don't always have to offer them. You can just use it as and when. Now, what's even better is that by embedding these payments powered by Stripe deeper into Xero, you'll now actually have visibility over your client's data from Xero so that you can help to manage them better and manage their cash flow as well. Plus, we've tried to really improve that onboarding process with Stripe so that it's quicker and easier to get your clients started. Now, another way that I'm really excited to mention is that we're bringing deeper payments into Xero by we're actually introducing tap to pay. So Xero will be the first major accounting platform to offer tap to pay in the UK and Australia. Tap to pay is perfect for mobile businesses. Xero businesses using invoicing can actually securely accept in-person payments without needing a physical payments terminal. Just a mobile phone, a Stripe account, and the Xero accounting app. We've also cut down the admin so that once a payment is taken, it's automatically marked as paid and ready to be reconciled. We will be launching a beta in August for Android users. So if you're interested in signing up to this, or you can think of some clients who might be interested, please do keep your eye out on the chat box later on. I will send you an invitation for the beta if you'd like to sign up to that. And that will be towards the end of the webinar. So what are some of the other technologies that Xero is using to emerge this technological, these changes? In November last year, in 2023, so we actually launched our first e-invoicing solution, which is a really exciting step forward for us and for our users. Now, e-invoicing is great because it's more than just raising invoices electronically. But if you haven't heard of it before, you might be wondering what it actually is. So essentially, it's a standardized way of sending and receiving digital invoices. It uses a secure international network called the PayPal network, and it exchanges invoices directly between accounting softwares. So it means that you and your clients can build a better picture of their cash flow without having to manage or manually handle those invoices and enter any data. So essentially, the way I like to explain it is that if you use Xero and you are sending an invoice to a customer who does not use Xero, hopefully they're all using Xero, but if they're not, that's okay because it works for different accounting softwares. once you send and approve and send that invoice, it will actually land directly into their accounting software. So you miss that whole step of having to email it and import it. It really is very exciting as far as technological developments go. Now, e-invoicing has already been adopted by many countries around the world, and in the UK specifically, the NHS has already been using e-invoicing for their procurements for years. Now, the benefits of e-invoicing includes saving money. We know that that's important, as the entire invoicing process can now be carried out digitally. So it just means also that we'll have access to more accurate data. It can even open up a business's customer base, as e-invoices can be sent globally. So that is also very exciting. And also, e-invoicing is environmentally friendly, which we know is important to the younger generations. We need to be staying on top of reducing our carbon footprint. That can also be associated with that traditional paper-based invoicing. So it's a win for sustainability, and it's a win for businesses looking to align with eco-conscious values. This type of automation is still in its early stages in the UK, but it is a great chance for us to get involved and help your clients lead the way. Xero is actually the largest digital service provider of e-invoicing in Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore, which means that we're already primed and ready to roll this out in the UK as well. Now, initially, we have released the ability to just receive e-invoices, and the ability to send in e-invoices was released this month in July of 2024. By enabling e-invoices in your client's organization, you'll be able to boost that efficiency of those day-to-day operations that are taking place. And whilst we continue to evolve e-invoicing and get more suppliers on board, remember Xero can receive bills in more than one way. So you can use HubDoc to get bills and receipts into Xero in seconds. Now, talking of bills, I'm sure a lot of us here today are the same. We don't like paying them, but unfortunately, it is a crucial part of running a business. Now, it's always been a really manual and time-consuming job, from getting bills into Xero to accurately processed, paid, and then reconciled. There are a lot of steps. And for advisors like you who help to manage your clients' bill payments, the process can really be an administrative burden. Many of you, I'm sure, spend hours each month. I know I did when I was in practice. It was a really time-consuming job to help my clients, and even for some of them, help them to make payments. And it just becomes worse the more bills that a client has to pay and the more clients that each advisor has to manage. Now, at Xero, we're on a mission to make this process easier and simplify this end-to-end bills workflow. There's a fun fact that I learned recently that I'd love to share with you all, which is that there are over 15 million bills processed through Xero in the UK each month. Now, that is a lot of time, if you can imagine how time-consuming this process can be if you're processing 15 million bills, and especially if it's being completed manually, or steps like HubDoc are not being used. And that's why we have released our new bill payments experience using open banking, making it simple, more efficient, and secure to pay bills without having to leave Xero. Now, this experience comes about through a new partnership between Xero and Cresco, a trusted payments partner. And we can actually go ahead and have a look at what this looks like in action. So I'm going to switch over to a demo that I have set up for you all here. And in Xero, so you'll land once again onto your dashboard. Now we're going to go ahead and click on Business and Bills to Pay. So you'll see these are a number of bills that we have already paid, but it looks like we need to actually get some more bills in there for me to show you this demo. So let's go ahead and upload some bills. Now this is a new feature, as you will see here. So upload bills. We can select a number of files and then upload them. Once that has uploaded, you'll see which ones have been successful, if there are any that have failed. So let's go ahead and have a look. Okay, so we can see that a number of bills have failed. Now let's go have a look why. So you can see that they're being created. We'll go ahead and give that a refresh. Fantastic. Now you might see here that Xero has picked up, we have some duplicate bills, which is a really exciting feature that I am very happy to have. This would have helped me so much with one client in particular who loved to upload multiples and multiples of the same bill accidentally. So let's go ahead and review what's going on. So you can see we've got 2 bills for duct cleaning and 2 for kedgeree. So let's go ahead and have a look. Now in here, it will show you exactly the details that have been picked up from that import. And we can go ahead and actually have a look at the attachment, which is really useful because it just means that we don't need to have any separate screens open. We can just go ahead and click in between the two, make sure that they are indeed a duplication. And once you are, or you've confirmed and you're happy to know that that is just a copy of the exact same bill, you can go ahead and click delete. So yes, we are sure. Let's delete that one and check out the other. So we've got duct cleaning. Going to go ahead and check out these attachments. Once again, click through. Yes, that's definitely exactly the same bill. And then we can go ahead and click delete. However, for today, I'm just going to keep going ahead with that. Let's go to our bills now. Okay, fabulous. So this is all of our draft bills that we've just imported. And then I'm going to go ahead and click awaiting payment. Now you'll see here that we have all of our different bills, and then I can go and select all. So lots of different bills for us to pay. I'm going to select all, and then I can click make payment. Now this is that new bills payment experience that we have embedded into Xero so you can pay your bills without having to leave Xero at all. Well, you do need to do a multi-factor authentication, which you will see, but it does just make it so seamless. So we're going to go ahead and click direct bank transfer and confirm. Now you'll notice here that Xero has picked up 2 different payment details for SweetBake. Now I'm going to go ahead and select the most recent one, because I assume that that will be the most up-to-date version, and click continue. Here we can select which bank account we'd like to pay our bills from. I'm going to pay from Barclays, and I'm actually going to schedule this to be a future payment. Now this is just a demo for today, just so that I'm not actually paying the bills out of my bank account, but you can actually go ahead and future date these payments as well, which is a feature that we didn't initially have, but it was something that people asked for. So we definitely listened to that feedback. Now here we can actually go ahead and you'll see that there's a number of different bills for the same supplier. So if we group them together, it will mean that that supplier will just receive the one payment instead of 3 separate payments. It's just making that a lot neater. And then we can go ahead and authenticate and pay. It gives us the option to actually update those bank accounts that were picked up as being not currently up to date. So we can go ahead and update those. And then in here, we do our multi-factor authentication. So this is what keeps that secure. The payment does need to be authenticated by your bank. If you have multiple people that you usually have to authenticate the payments, then it will actually require the multiple people to authenticate as well. So that is a frequently asked question that I get a lot of the time. So you can see here, I've got a nice healthy bank account balance here. I'm happy to pay these bills, and I'm going to go ahead and continue. Once that's done, you'll be able to actually keep track of your payments from within Xero. So you don't need to do that from your bank account. You can just come into your payments. How fantastic is that? It really excites me, especially for that client that I used to help with their bill payments all the time. So we've had a look at how businesses can get paid faster with online invoice payments, how they can automate the bills process to save time on manual workflows, and also how to pay those bills with ease. But while getting paid the right amount and on time is important, we also need visibility to see what's coming down the line. Now, this is where Analytics Plus can help. It helps you with those clients that are trying to keep their business afloat, and they might not really have a sense of what's coming down the line. Many of you will be familiar, I hope, with analytics through your Xero subscriptions. This tool helps so many small businesses to better understand their business, where they're at through that business snapshot, and plan ahead with that short-term cash flow report. Now, the business snapshot has charts to help you get a sense of the bigger picture. So it gives you a high-level view of your profitability, efficiency, and financial position. And if you're a bit of a ratio nerd like me, it does actually automatically calculate all of your financial ratios for you as well. That short-term cash flow report gives you a visual projection of your potential bank balance up to 30 days in the future with analytics, or up to 90 days with Analytics Plus, which is fantastic if you're doing cash flow planning or budgeting with your clients. So it really can be the difference of having a conversation with your client that can actually set them up for success, because you can use Xero to its full potential by getting those real-time insights and those cash flow projections. Now, if you have clients who would like to get a better understanding of their cash flow further into the future, like I said, that 90 days, you can do that with Analytics Plus. So do keep that in mind. Now, the next topic we're going to have a look at is AI and the proven benefits that this emerging technology is already having within the accounting and bookkeeping industry. Now, AI-powered analytics can process a vast amount of financial data in real time. It can identify trends, anomalies, and potential risks that might have otherwise gone unnoticed. And this not only enhances decision-making, but it can also help you as accountants become proactive advisors, so helping you to guide businesses towards financial success. Looking into the future, AI holds even greater promise. With machine learning and predictive analytics, which we use in our Xero Analytics, accountants and bookkeepers can forecast financial outcomes with greater accuracy, allowing them to make those really important strategic decisions based on data-driven insights. Now, imagine being able to, let's say, predict market trends or cash flow fluctuations, or even potential tax liabilities well in advance. Now, some of you may have already noticed that at Xero, we're taking a significant step forward in enhancing our support model by integrating generative AI into Xero Central Search. So I'm not sure if any of you have been on Xero Central recently, but you will see these generated answers. So when a user puts in a search query, they won't just receive a list of content articles that already exist. They'll actually get a specific suggested answer tailored to their specific question. Now, these answers are drawn from our extensive library of support content articles, which have been curated by our support content team, and they've been extensively tested by subject matter experts within Xero. So we've gone through, we've asked all of the questions we can think of to make sure that we've got the best answers possible, and we've really worked on that feedback as well. Now, hopefully, no longer that means will you or your clients have to sift through lengthy lists of search results. Instead, you'll receive a direct and personalized response to your inquiry. Now, you might be wondering why we are doing this. Well, firstly, early adoption of generative AI positions us as innovators in the customer service industry. We are ready to learn and adapt swiftly to continually enhance our customers' experience, you guys, essentially. That's what we're trying to do. Now, secondly, this technology enables us to create personalized responses. So by addressing customers' specific queries, even when they span multiple pieces of content, instead of having to review, 4 different help articles, hopefully you'll just be able to ask that one question and get one answer. Lastly, this technology allows us to extend our content answers across various channels, making it easier for Xero users to find the information they need to self-serve, regardless of whether or where they ask their questions. Now, we aim to deliver experiences that are easy, fast, personalized, and highly intuitive. That is what is important to us. And we believe that by using AI, we're able to improve on this. And this is just the beginning. Later in 2024, we'll be launching a new feature powered by generative AI. Just Ask Xero, also known as Jax, your new AI business companion. Jax delivers rapid, personalized business insights for client success, elevating you beyond the day-to-day routine conversations. So to truly become that trusted advisor, you will have all of this information even closer to your fingertips, I would say. You can gain time back by delegating costly admin tasks and creating invoices and paying bills. So it's really exciting stuff. I actually have a video that I will be sending the link out for. So you may notice that our webinar, you'll have a little bit of extra time towards the end of today, and that is so that you can take that extra 10 minutes and go and watch the video that I'm going to send you the link for. It was created by some of my fantastic team members, and it shows you exactly what the power of Jax will be, how you can use it, and it is really, really exciting. So please do, if you do have the extra time towards the end of this webinar, go ahead and check that video out. Now, what I would also really, really like to mention and keep, peace of mind is that the data on Xero is securely saved in the cloud. So you are in safe hands. We have leading security measures. We're guided by our AI protector. We guarantee encrypted data, block potential threats, and uphold strict privacy standards, which aligns to our responsible AI principles. We know that that is obviously something that people do ask about as well. So I would like to mention that. Now, you'll also benefit from a seamless integration between Jax and your daily collaboration tools. You'll be able to use Jax from WhatsApp, your emails, messaging apps, and more. So making it even more accessible so that you're able to use Jax to the full potential. You can create cash flow forecasts and access insights and recommend actions during virtual client meetings in real time. So it's really all about that. We're designing this for an unparalleled collaboration with your clients, because that's essentially what Xero was created for, was advisors and their clients, the small business owners, and how they collaborate in the cloud. Now, Jax can perform a range of tasks, like I've mentioned a couple so far, or it can also provide deep insights for you and your clients from wherever you are. Over time, Jax will support other areas of our product, including tasks that you need to complete as an advisor. And this has the potential to transform the way that you work in your practice. Now, imagine if you could ask Jax to prepare a sales tax return for a client, for example, or maybe check their transactions for anomalies, or even find and recode transactions. We know how time-consuming those jobs are, and imagine if that's one day something that Jax can do. Now, that is the future that we are working towards, and we know that with this opportunity comes great responsibility. Nice little reference for the Spider-Man fans out there. Now, we'll continue to be guided by our responsible data use commitments and build Jax to the same high security and privacy standards that you've come to expect from Xero. Jax will also feature our new groundbreaking proprietary technology, which means it will only give you precise accounting data that you have permission to access in Xero, making it smarter, more accurate, and more secure than other Gen AI models. Now, we can't wait to share the beta version of Jax with you when it is available, I believe, next month. And if you have time, please do go check out that video. It is created by my wonderful colleague, Andy, and other team members, but it really is a great example of what you'll be able to do later on. Now, here we go. This is the slide for our useful links. Now, that does bring us towards the end of today's webinar, and I really hope that you've enjoyed listening about our AI APIs and how we're using Xero to get paid faster. But before we end the session, there are some really useful links that I want to share with you. So firstly, if you are not already Xero Advisor certified, now is the perfect time to do so. So there is a link in the chat where you can register for the advisor certification webinar. Here you'll learn everything there is to know about Xero so that you can actually advise your clients better. And it is a great environment. We do have multiple options for advisor certification. So I've linked specifically to the webinar, but we do have self-paced courses. We do have a fast track course as well. We also have face-to-face classrooms, which are my personal favorite. So we'd love to have you in one of our offices if that interests you as well in the UK. Now, I've also popped a link into our HubDoc webinar. We spoke earlier about getting bills into Xero, and our free data capture tool HubDoc can help you to do just that. Now, I believe my next delivery of the HubDoc webinar is next week, so I'd love to see you all there. And there's also, just below that should be a link to our Tap to Pay beta if you're interested in signing up. And also, I cannot forget to mention that Jack's video is there as well. So that link, all of those links should be in the chat box for you now. Now I'm just going to go over to those next steps really quickly. So firstly, register to receive e-invoices. If that's not something that you've done yet, give it a test yourself, see how it works for you. And if you love it, if you're enjoying it, you can also get your clients to set up e-invoices today as well. So we actually have the ability to be sending e-invoices. So that means that you could actually send your invoices to your clients and that will automatically appear into their Xero account. Now, secondly, we've got that third-party app store. So do give that a look. There's some also really exciting. So in your Xero organization, there's 9 dots on the top left-hand corner. I'm actually just going to go ahead and show you what that looks like now. So over here in my Xero demo company, you'll see just here, we've got a nice shortcut that we've actually added to make it even easier to access the App Store. So once you click that, you'll actually be able to go ahead and link straight out to the App Store. You can check out popular categories, but a really, really interesting one here is that we've actually got apps that are recommended for you. So for my particular demo company, how I've been running it, there are some recommendations of apps that the App Store has recommended for me, which is really exciting. Now, jumping back here, last but not least is that Xero Advisor certification, whether that's webinar or face-to-face. If you would like to know more, do head over to Xero Central and our learning tab. You'll see all of our learning resources there. That's specifically what me and my team get to do day in and day out. We are the education team, so would love to see you on some future learning there. And we'll let you in on all of our tips and tricks so that you can be a Xero pro in no time. Now, I've also got those QR codes up here now, so that's to register for e-invoicing. If you'd like to read a blog post on just our Xero Jacks, that's in the middle there. And we also have a QR code for the Beating the Digital Drag report, which is a new report, and it's very exciting, talking all about how the app space is changing in the accounting industry, how it's affecting that. So very exciting stuff. Now, finally, I'll take a few moments now to answer any questions that have come through on the Q&A. So let me just have a look and see if we've got any Q&A questions. Okay, so I've got no questions there, so I'm going to hand back to you, Ryan. A question that I do get from time to time, though, I will mention really quickly, is will the Tap to Pay be able to be used by iPhone? Now, it just is a beta for Android to begin with, so do keep that in mind if you're wanting to set up for the beta.
I was just going to say, actually, I don't know if you may have actually answered my question already, but I didn't know if there's any other frequently asked questions that you or your colleagues get whenever you've done this demo.
Yeah, I mean, we do get questions on our payment services. So, like, how long are the payout times? Which for Stripe is 2 days, and I believe for Go Cardless is down to 3 days, 3 business days. Something that I did get flagged as well that I also like to mention is the very first payment that you get from the payment services. It can take a little bit longer, so do expect that very first one to clear a little bit longer than the anticipated 2 days or 3 days. Now, that is because we're doing security checks. We're making sure that it's all securely connected, and that's really just to benefit our users.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Ashley. And also, just more broadly, just in terms of this as an issue, in terms of late payments, how big an issue do you see as in terms of Xero customers and accountants that you deal with? And it seems, as far as I can see from every figure that I've seen, it's a growing problem as well.
It is growing, yeah. So I remember when I first reviewed the late payments issue, it was in the millions, and within less than 12 months, I think they realized that it was actually in the billions. So it's having a great effect on, or a huge effect on small businesses, and it's something that we're really passionate about at minimizing at Xero. So we're doing as much as we can to help our small business friends. And yeah, I think it just takes each little step at a time. Every efficiency can help. And I think by doing this, by implementing all of our different steps, you can actually have an effect on paying your suppliers faster, which means that you're minimizing their payment days as well. So something that I actually didn't mention earlier, but is really interesting, is the open banking feature that we have. So that new end-to-end bill payments process. By using open banking and using that process to pay your suppliers, they can actually receive their funds almost immediately. So it's clearing really, really quickly, and it's getting their debtor days down as well.
That's great. Thank you so much, Ashley. And thank you to everyone for joining us this afternoon, for taking your time out of your day to watch this webinar. Also, to let you know, if you joined late or there's something you'd like to go over again, we'll be publishing this webinar in full in the next issue of CA Magazine when it comes out on August 28th. And we'll also include all those links, including the video link for Jax as well. And all that's left for me to say is enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care. Bye.